Hey guys, it's Lori with oops, with a voice in the dark. Almost forgot my microphone. Um, we number one, I want to apologize to any friends or family that I might have upset or pissed off in the past year. I didn't mean it. I did and I didn't. You know what I mean? What I'm realizing, because I didn't understand how a large group of the, you know, public citizens could vote for somebody like Trump. Now, I'm beyond all that now because we are at a pivotal point of no return to normal. There will never be a normal again. It's been removed very systematically. None of these moves were accidental. They were all pre-planned. And we're in for a really rugged ride. And we need to, I'm cutting the internet. I unplug the internet a couple times a day now and at night when I sleep so that I can have some peace, because I don't know what they're sending over the waves, but sometimes there's subliminals that make us feel yucky. And some of the frequencies they're using, you'll find that you get kind of heavy feeling after you've been on there a little bit, you know, and I do about 30 videos a day watching them to kind of keep up and keep a balance in what I'm looking at. And to check people out to see what two stories they're coming up with. And there are two stories. And they're being dished out by the same people. But what we need to realize right now is that we all felt the same way. We all needed change. We were let down by the Democratic Party. But what we didn't realize is they were setting us up for a period of Trump to get us ready for the New World Order. And this cycle that they want to change out with the money and everything else. And it's going to put a lot of Americans in a real bad way because there won't be any money for a while. So how long it'll last, I don't know. But I do know one thing, that we are the most creative and ingenious and Yankee ingenuity that I've ever seen. We come from people that wanted to get away from this kind of control and this kind of atmosphere in Europe and well, around the world, really. And so we're made of some really good stock, and we're going to need to depend on that stock. And young people are going to need us. So us older ones are going to have to get back in shape and be physically fit for the days to come. We are going to have to work within our neighborhoods, our communities. We're going to need community gardens. We're going to need to stay with our communities and our local government, our state government, because I have a feeling our federal government is just about gone. And I don't like to sound like a naysayer. I always have hope. Well, not hope, I have faith that whatever is happening is going to happen for the good and the greater good of all when it's over. But it's going to be a rugged ride while it's going through this process. You're seeing a process of people that are hurt. They're hurt. They've been filled with propaganda and lies and bullshit. And the thing is that they're worried about their kids surviving, their kids having their own homes and this and that. And but this was never about immigrants. This was never about. If you go back and do the history, we've always gotten rid of immigrants that were illegal every year, millions. You know, they keep coming. We keep sending them back. But we never make a big deal out of it. We never make a big show of it. But the records are there. You can dig for them. when we started deregulating the media back in the early to mid 70s, is when the initial 50-year program went into effect to break up the United States eventually into 7 little countries like Europe is. It's more controllable. That's what this is really all about. And the 1,000 years, 2,000 years of golden years, the wealthy have decided that's for them, that we will be, somewhat taken care of. Our rights will be somewhat met. But we're going to be left on our own. And they don't care. The rulers of this world do not care. They're very selfish. You can look back in the history. You better do it now because they're changing the internet as I speak. But you can see the cycles. And the depression and everything that it's going to cause. So if you can grow food at home, those little towers that have all kinds of, vegetarian stuff. Check with your local government to see if you can have chickens and raise chickens. I don't know how bad it's really going to get, but I would rather be in my head ready than to be blindsided by hope. Everything's been a show. This has been a dog and pony show for a circus, and we're the viewers. And don't think that the Democrats are not behind this, too. It's a show, folks. It's a show. This cannot be stopped. We can try. It just depends how easily people are bought off in either side to see this through. I'm going to continue to fight for our rights and our freedom. I have been posting a lot because I am worried about our souls. This is not our reality. This is not where we're meant to be. We're from the pleroma. We're from the true star systems where Jesus is from and God, the real God. I'll do a video in a couple days to give the history, the true history, because there's a lot of lies out there and a lot of little, semi-truths, just like they did our Bibles, and all our religions are not right. You would have to, for them to get by with the way they've done us, we would have had to been exceptionally seeking truth. And then we would have been guided to all these different religions, which I had been. And did I read them all? No. But I understood that every religion was given at least one or two truths. The bigger it is, there might be one or two. The rest of them just one. And they used it for control. And now they want to use an AI God, And the problem with AI and robots is that they don't feel. They are not human. They are not divine sparks of God, which is what we are. The rulers aren't either. They gave that up to be here, to rule here, their own little universe right here. And yes, they have 12 realms, and yes, you can go up. I've gone and visited all of them because I do a lot of astral traveling. And, but there's more in the real universe. And you can call us star children. We are. Because we're from the real stars, not these. They tried to give us a mimic of it, but we're really domed in all the way around the earth. And they are going to play on your emotions to keep you trapped here. That's their whole goal here, is to trap as many souls as possible because they like to use our energy and they prefer to bleed it off when we're negative or we're down or depressed. How often are we like that? More often than more often than any of us want to admit to. So, especially in times like this, they always do this. Go look at the history, and they'll create a bunch of wars, and they'll stir up propaganda, and then they'll bring a big gun in, that really disturbs shit. I call Trump and Elon chaos managers. They're chaos managers. They're good at it, and they're good at stirring up the truth a little bit, and they're mostly lies. And I can say that honestly and openly because I liked Elon for a long time, and Trump didn't bother me. It's just that all of a sudden he changed when he came back. So, but I followed Elon for a long time, and all of a sudden I noticed that he was manipulating the market, and he would say one thing and get people to buy out because people like him. They listen to him. And then he'd turn around the next day, he was buying it. So he wouldn't buy it till the last minute when a bunch of prices came down. The FCC should have had him arrested a long time ago. So what you're seeing is they're allowed to do this. And our Constitution was never really meant for us. It was meant for the powers that be. And they're ruthless at keeping what they want. And their whole goal was to make as much money and to live in as much luxury as they can. Well, they leave us topside. They're going underground. They'll leave us topside to deal with their artificial intelligence that's running our lives and all the bullshit. And they won't be here to handle it. We're on our own, folks, is what I'm saying. And we're going to have to find a way to feed ourselves, have fresh water, clean water, helping our neighbor. This isn't a time for war, and this isn't a time for hating each other over stupid shit that we've been played into. We've all been lied to, the Democrats and the Republicans. And Trump, his big goal now is to catch up with all the others that are so wealthy. And that's why he's doing all this other stuff, to gain some wealth before he goes underground. And they know some earth changes and shifts are going to happen. Nibiru is in the system. I know a lot of people don't believe in Nibiru, but why do you think they're spraying our skies? I saw a patent in the patent office that was to the military, our United States government, and it was a spraying camouflage. It was a cloaking device. It was cloaking material. That's why they had to make a fake sun and send it up, because they needed that bright white sun to make the cloaking materials work, so that we couldn't see what was really going on outside in the real stars and universe right now, because they're cloaking and hiding the Nibiru system. I've gotten a couple pictures of it over the last, 15 years, 20 years since it's been within our system, right at the very beginning. When it passes over, and that's at 60 million miles from us yet, but that's what causes the 3 days of darkness, and when it passes by, it looks like a huge planet that's just going to roll us over. That's how massive it is. It's 15 times the size of Earth. And it will cause earth shakes and all kinds of things. That's why the Earth is heating up right now, because we've got all this cloaking material in the northern hemisphere and that bright white fake sun, so the cloaking material works. That's why they brought back, when Trump, was it Trump, or it might have been Obama even, or maybe it was the other guy. Anyway, in the last 15 years, they brought back 1,000 retired Air Force men to fly these planes to spray the skies. We're spraying the skies. It's not, we're spraying the skies. And you need to adjust to this, because all of a sudden they're going to quit spraying the skies and we will see this system here. And it'll probably freak people out. Now, the Anunnaki that are on Nibiru also put a grid around the Earth. And it's a grid of nanoparticles in a perfect, 1 foot by 1 foot grid all the way around the world, and it goes from the ground all the way up to the stratosphere. And that is also used for holographic imaging. And I've seen it. I've seen what it can do, and you've started seeing some of it too. They're going to fake an invasion from stars, and they're going to do all kinds of crap, because everything that they're talking about as far as star seeds and all that, and supposedly coming in and first contact and all that, that's a lie. It's faked. It's all going to be faked. The Federation won't come here because it's not safe for them to come here. So they help us the best they can with communications when they can. And you need to understand that they're getting ready to not just give a shit on the internet and on TV and all that. They're about to show it in the skies. Do not be afraid. I saw a giant come run across the field in front of me, and I drove right through it. I'd already seen something else. I know it sounds crazy, but it's real. And I don't want you to be afraid. Because when you're afraid, you can't cross over. The earth is splitting into two earths. The good, the loving, the beautiful. So that our souls can start evolving and becoming everything it's meant to be, instead of being trapped here all the time and running in through cycles of what they call because you got to make up for karma and all that. Anyway, and then they restart the cycle after, I think, it looks like it's roughly running about 3,600 years. And that is the maximum turning point of Nibiru's orbit. It used to be us. We were part of Nibiru, but they blew it up. And we're the little piece, and they're the great big piece. And anyway, I had to tell you that because I don't want you to be afraid. Do not get scared. Focus on loving your family, your friends, and focus on community, because community's going to need us, because there's a lot of elderly out here that can't work a garden. They can't grow anything in the house, and we're going to have to make sure people are being helped. And if we stayed within our own neighborhoods and did a coalition with our neighbors, and every neighborhood did that, it would really help. And then we could, get with others and see if anybody else needs help, or, if we're having a problem, what we might need. It is a beautiful time for our evolution, for our soul. So turn inward and talk to God, Goddess, all that is. Talk to Source. He hears you, but you got to talk to the right God, not the one here. You have to make it real clear. So just say Source or Jesus. And but we're from the same place. When Jesus said we are identical to him, he's our brother. We can do everything he can do and more. There's more. I've been seeking out the more. But I kind of skipped some of the stuff he does because I haven't figured out some of it. But I can run on water, but I can't walk on water. So anyway, Jesus coming back is through each of us. We have a kundalini that starts at the base of our spine. It's our energy field. And when we think of God and wanting to know more, wanting to seek more, you'll feel it start up. I mean, you'll feel kind of almost horny, at first. And you just keep pulling it up your back spine, and really get it up there, and it come up to the base of your skull, and it wakes up that pineal gland. And then you will start seeing what God sees, how God sees, and that you are a divine spark of source, and you have every right to be sovereign and enjoy your freedom. And we can get through this if we all try really hard to center ourselves in God. God is all that is, or Christ, however you want to talk to it. It could be any of the religions. It doesn't matter. Source will do. And we have to quit holding judgment against any other humans. There's always going to be bad in the world, unfortunately, because that's how the universe is. It's built with chaos, because we wouldn't understand goodness if we didn't have bad things happen. But they're just experiences, especially here. And forgive yourself and let go of any pain and guilt and shame and judgments, especially against yourself. Once you do that, you're able to let go for other people too. And understand that we live forever, because we aren't this human form. It's just a body. It's an avatar, basically. It's the best way to explain it. It's like an avatar. And you and I are great souls. We are sparks of divinity, and we have a direct link to Source. It's inside of us. It's inside of all of us. So awaken the spark within. Get to know yourself as a soul, a spark of light from God, a spark of consciousness of God, Source. We are all just like Jesus, just like Sophia and Mary. So, and listen, the earth. The earth needs to know we love her too. The plants, the dirt, the rocks, the skies, the sun, and you can catch our real sun. You can still catch it really quickly at dawn and at sunset. You'll catch the yellow. But other than that, this white one follows it. And because the white one they needed to make the holographic fake skies with. So I love you, and I forgot to set my timer, so I'm going to stop here. And there'll be more soon. Lori out. Talk to you later. Bye.